Carter Bryant has slowly become one of the most talked about names in the 2025 NBA draft. After being relatively unknown, he had a strong second half of the season and a March Madness that's catapulted him into a possible lottery selection. But if you've never heard of him or you've never seen him play, you'll probably ask why. If you look up his stats, he averaged less than 7 points per game at Arizona in under 20 minutes per game. Yet he's being described as the kind of wing that every NBA team would want, and the Athletics say he could go as high as the 7th pick in the draft. I've seen like 15 teams potentially mocked to draft him in the first round. I have no idea where he's going to go. It seems like every NBA team wants him. So why does almost every NBA team seem to want this 7 points per game draft prospect Carter Bryant? How's it going, my friend? I'm Alexander from Load Management Media, and let's talk about it. Carter Bryant had a pretty good freshman season at Arizona, all things considered. He had a notable performance against Akron in March, and all season he had a contributing role on one of the best teams in the country that made it to the Sweet 16, then lost to Duke. But why is he so coveted as a probable top 10 pick with averages of 7 points and 4 rebounds? The answer: Carter Bryant is the perfect prototypical NBA wing. Bryant has all the tools to be a successful wing in the NBA. Bryant is 6'8" with shoes, almost 6'7" without, 214 pounds, and a near 7-foot wingspan. That is an NBA executive's dream prospect. Bryant is also only 19 years old and doesn't turn 20 until November, which is a benefit. This is because teams like younger guys that they can mold instead of older seasoned guys who have been set into a certain way of playing the game. The mindset to draft a younger raw player like Bryant plays into this philosophy. And apart from his specific measurables, he's got a lot of potential in a lot of different areas. At minimum, you can see him fitting in as a complementary piece on an NBA roster as a 3-and-D guy, because that's what he did on a good team like Arizona. But you can also see he has potential to be so much more. Bryant, for one, has incredible athleticism. You can see this at the rim when he's finishing plays. He gets off the floor so quick and can really get high to finish lobs. Or you can see this on the defensive side of the ball when he's blocking shots or staying with his guy. And that defense probably is his most translatable NBA skill right now. In only 19 minutes, he averaged a block and a steal a game, which is really impressive for a wing this young. He stays in front of his guys with his big frame, can move his feet, and is really great in the passing lanes to get out for easy transition buckets. Some of those blocks he's had as well have been impressive. Back on the offensive side, he's shown that he's a threat from the three-point line. On 3 attempts, he shot 37%, which is pretty good. I like his release. It's decently quick and smooth, so I think at the next level, he'll be able to hit. I know a big thing that teams will love with Bryant is his attitude towards the game and just how good of a kid he is. If you watch the interviews, he's very well spoken and self-aware. He seems to have a good attitude, yet a quiet confidence. Just someone everyone would love to have if you're a teammate, coach, or executive. The relationship he's had with his family and the deaf community is really cool also. In terms of specific weaknesses, there isn't anything that really jumps out at you, just a lot of question marks. Since Mr. Bryant only played 1 season and only averaged 19 minutes a game, there are question marks about his skills that he wasn't able to showcase, and whether the skills that he did showcase will be sustainable. The main question mark is his shot creation. He didn't have many opportunities to showcase this at all since a lot of his shots were catch and shoot. The passing is another area where he didn't have much responsibility. I haven't watched much of his high school tape, but apparently this was an area he was pretty good in. So maybe he will be alright here, but the evidence is inconclusive. With Carter, the question isn't really will he be good, but really how good will he be. This 3-and-D role I've been talking about is very much projectable for him in the NBA as his floor. His IQ defensively as a cutter and his ability to knock down shots make this role almost a shoo-in. But he could be better than this. He said in interviews he believes he can be one of the best players in the league, but that it'll come with time. Carter was a McDonald's All-American last year before coming to college and ranked 20th in the consensus recruiting. This is something that needs to be considered also, when projecting his role in the NBA. Peyton Watson is a great example of a guy in college who was shooed into a role and didn't really do much. He averaged 3 points per game, but in the NBA, he's been really good so far considering his draft stock, and in high school, he was a star. So sometimes it's not about just watching that college tape, but looking at other things as well, high school, intangibles, the kind of person he is, and Carter Bryant checks a lot of those boxes. So how good will Carter Bryant actually be? I think he can make his way up to a high-level wing, a 17 to 18 points per game scorer, and a defensive stopper. But it all depends on the team he goes to, how high he gets drafted, and the expectations that are put on him. I believe it was Hoop Intellect that I was watching who said he sees some Trevor Ariza in him, and I honestly like that comp. A high-level 3-and-D wing that got up to that almost 15 points per game range, and was a contributor on a championship team and a lot of contending teams as well. I actually do see some Peyton Watson in his game as well, but I think his IQ is higher, and Bryant projects to be a better shooter. For a team that would want to build his upside long term, I think the Pels at 7 could be something really interesting, but that's pretty high for him, but the fit is probably the best in my opinion out of all the teams. I also think that the Hawks at 13 could develop him next to their other long, rangy wings, while he also provides immediate value as a 3-and-D guy. And pretty much any other team in the league that just wants him to fit into that 3-and-D mold, he'd probably be a good fit. Carter Bryant is a name that more people are starting to hear about in the 2025 NBA draft. But despite a lessened role in college compared to other high draft picks, Carter Bryant is someone that you'll become a lot more familiar with in the next few years. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe for more stories on the most interesting young players in the NBA related world. And as always, stay rested. See you in the next one.